What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Knightsman channel. What we have today is the new information about the Assassin's Creed game, which is centered around the Viking Age, and we have a lot of information to kind of shift through. I'm going to go through the rumor mill here. Some of it might be good, some of it might not be, but let's talk about it anyway. I think it's some good information coming out, and if any of this is true, then it's good talking points anyway to go over. So we definitely got some huge stuff to go over, so definitely make sure we stick around and enjoy all of it. This is the value we bring to you, so definitely make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, join the channel, and hit that bell notification for further videos. But let's crack straight into it. So from one of the tweets we have from an insider called @xjonathan, he sheds a little bit of light about the new Assassin's Creed game, which he tweeted out in French. So we're just going to go through that. So what we got here is, so this is some of the stuff that he tweeted through. So the information is it will be good with the Vikings. So that's, I guess, saying that, yeah, we're good to go with the Viking setting. It will not be called Kingdom nor Ragnarok, which is the code name at the moment. The Secret Blade will be back. The Shield too. The main character should be a woman, but if we can still choose a man. So that's, I guess, we're just going to cover those little bits there. We're going to discuss it, and before we move on to any further information. So let's go through the names. So what's been thrown around so far is Kingdom and Ragnarok. Another title that's also been chucked in the mix is Valhalla. Now, I think any one of those three names is really cool in my opinion, and I would not care if it was named either of them. So Kingdom sounds pretty cool, same with Ragnarok, obviously a big event, and the same with Valhalla, because we all know Valhalla up in the sky is where all the Vikings want to go. So awesome. So the thing that they said about the Secret Blade will be back, obviously in all the Assassin's Creed games we've seen that Secret Blade, and it's been a huge focus point through all the Assassin's Creed, so definitely expecting that to pop up. The shield, obviously we know during the Vikings history that they love using shields, so I want to see some good shield designs and good interactive, I guess, attacking, defending abilities with that shield, because it is a big starting point with the Vikings. So I definitely want to see that crossover well into this game, and obviously being able to choose whether you're a woman or a male, which I think is was done really well in the Odyssey game, the last Assassin's Creed game. And yeah, I mean, I think it was done quite well with the RPG sort of style, which I think is going to be happening with this game as well. Alright, let's move on to a little bit more. So obviously the setting is Scandinavia, won't be the only game territory, so I'm assuming that you're going to obviously go venture out into different territories, different countries, as we've seen on either the TV shows or history, whatever you like to go from. Still in the RPG mode, plus I'm assuming more than Odyssey, which is again awesome, because Odyssey is absolutely huge and mind-blowing, and I absolutely love kind of the setting and the way they done it, how they dug deeper into the Egyptian, the gods, that culture. Just absolutely loved it, and I think with that RPG sort of style, you can't go wrong. So if they're following that nature and putting a big plus sign against that, then that's all leaning to positive stuff. So lots of supernatural content related to the first civilization, which again, super cool. Can't go wrong with adding that deep content which people just love to get behind. No co-op. Now, again, I think that's a very good option, in my opinion, because sometimes these co-ops can get a little bit tricky, and I think them focusing on what they do best, which is bringing that single player story, that immersive experience, I think is absolutely key with maintaining the fans of the Assassin's Creed. So definitely I think that's a good step by not going in that co-op or bringing mates. And I'm as you know, on this channel, I'm very focused on story and that solo experience, so I'm all for it. Outing still planned for the end of the year. So going off that, as we know, Ubisoft often likes to tease us in that kind of late April, early May sort of time frame. So I'm going to say it's a high chance that we're going to get a little bit of something, a little bit of more, solid official information coming out, either along the new Xbox Series X events, or even the PlayStation 5 event, which is, I guess, rumored in that same kind of time frame, or hopefully around that mid-May, which again is going to be mind-blowing, because a lot of people still haven't heard about it. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good, and Ubisoft often likes to tease us during that period, so I'm strongly saying that we're going to get a little bit of something, but it is what it is. Coolio. Kind of supporting that also, there's a tweet from Shinobi602, which has connections and comms at the Wushu Studios, I think that's how you say it. Also a non-trustworthy source. So when asked about the next Assassin's Creed title, he said almost there. Now that points towards again that time frame that we're going to get a little bit of official information coming really soon. So I want to see a good trailer, a good cinematic trailer, which is going to make me buy into the Viking sort of style. Now, there was a huge leak from 4chan, which made the rounds around the internet about Assassin's Creed. There was a lot of information which the user posted. Now, we know that it is fake. However, we're just going to go through, I guess, some of the main points and just have a talk about it, because I think it is, I guess, vocal points to talk about. So we'll launch on Xbox One, PS4, PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, as I said, I think that is vitally important for them to capture both the current gen and the next gen. Obviously, we know, the next gen is going to be very limited on the consoles, but if it comes out as an exclusive, I reckon that's going to be a key factor in many people getting a console and buying a game at the same time. Could most likely be Assassin's Creed, but also hitting that current generation with where most of the player base is at the moment. So officially announced that the upcoming might be in a PlayStation event or Xbox event. Obviously, we know that there are a lot of console, I guess, events coming up very shortly, which we've already talked about. But I think them dropping in one of either those two, another big key, I guess, element. What I kind of want to see if that does happen is a cinematic trailer coming out along that, because we love those cinematic trailers and we just want to see, I guess, some sort of official announcement, trailer or information coming our way, because a lot of us can't get enough of what Assassin's Creed is still doing. So the player can play as a single character. Now, I've already talked about this. Again, I guess that element is true, where they can play either as a male or female, like they did in Odyssey, which I think is very vital, because it continues that heavy kind of RPG element, which I really, really enjoyed, because it immersed me in the story of the Egyptian gods, the culture, that sort of thing. So I think it's spot on, especially with the different character based classes that they did have, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, the weapons, shields, and all that element is going to be a very, very, I guess, unique to the Viking sort of style. So I want to, dig deeper on that sort of style when it comes out, because I think it's going to be pretty cool, and hopefully they polish it off well. Especially, integrating different, I guess, playing style than what they did with Odyssey. Obviously, Odyssey, followed more that Spartan, Athenian sort of, fighting style. Obviously, Vikings are, a little bit different. So it'll be cool to see that change quite a bit. So we know that the map is going to be massive. That's one of the leaked information. Now, we already know that if it kind of stuck with the same sort of style as what Odyssey did. Obviously, it's an RPG as well. But that map was huge. And as talked about in our previous sort of rumors, that the adventure on this sea water is going to be a little bit different to what I guess Odyssey was. It's going to be less battle, like a more exploration, like winding through rivers, that sort of thing. And I think that does correlate with how the Vikings done it. So it's cool if they sort of stick to that I guess story, and how that they actually done it in history, because I think that's going to relate more when it comes to the story. Now they reckon that you might be able to hit the bigger cities, like London, Paris, that sort of thing. So being able to hit every kingdom, which meant to be really unique. So I guess that might be where the that name kingdom comes from. But yeah, so they say that the game begins in 845 CE, say at the siege of Paris. Now, as we know, Ragnar Lothbrok was a huge element in the Vikings franchise. So I'm hoping and cross my fingers that having that sort of element of Ragnar and his sons is going to be key in the story. I hope so, because I think that's going to capture my attention a lot more than if they weren't. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that happens. Now we're gonna cut to, I guess, a portion of the video now where we kind of steer away from the rumors and what we're kind of hearing, and we're gonna just talk more to what I want, or more to what I feel like the game should be. So as you know, I'm a little bit of a gamer here, jam mostly on the PlayStation, but I'll be looking at hopefully getting it on the PlayStation 5 when it does come out. And yeah, I'm pretty excited because I've followed the Assassin's Creed franchise through all their games, and I think that their trophy lists are spot on, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting amongst it. But my big kind of feeling and thoughts is that I do want a different style game than what I got from Odyssey. I mean, a lot of people want just a very similar game because Odyssey done so well, and they want it to be very similar. But I want something a little different. I want them to really capture that Viking sort of setting, that Vikings way of life. I want it to be very immersed in the environment, in the way that they go to battle, in the way that they raid, in the way they kind of take over cities and whatnot. We know that it's not going to be like how the Black Flags were, where they had the pirate ships and going after that. No, their ships were totally different, and their attitude was more to exploring the different areas and raiding. That's what their culture was built on. I'm going off the TV series here, so obviously it's like that in history a little bit, but I'm not too versed up in the history realm. But I love Vikings. I've watched all of the TV series, so I'm hoping that some of that stuff in there correlates to the game. But I believe Ubisoft has what it takes to kind of to bring it to the game, to make the game alive, because as I said, they've done a really good job on Odyssey, and the exploration on that was huge. The map was huge. There's a lot of sea area, but I want to see what the Vikings really does. Definitely want the gameplay in terms of like attacking and defending. I want that to be unique to the Vikings. Obviously, I want to go raiding. How cool would that be? Just going to different explored areas and taking raiding parties out. And let's just say your raiding party is half killed, then you're gonna have to go recruit more people and before you can raid again, or you need to build up your settlement or stuff like that. I think that's going to be pretty cool if they do something along those lines. Obviously this is not rumor stuff, this is just me putting ideas out there into thinking what would make this game successful. But I'm just spitballing here, I'm just going off the top of my mind, because I guess there's certain things in there which could make it for a good game. Now we know obviously it's got to they've got to have that usual Assassin's Creed futuristic sort of that character that goes into that world. All good if they still maintain that sort of element of the game, because it's always been a part of the games. But I don't want to venture too much out of the Viking Assassin's Creed world, where they return in the pod and being a human in that, and roaming in that sort of thing. I want them more to stick in into the actual game itself, and being that character. I loved how obviously you chose either to be a male or female, and then that kind of changed it slightly, your gameplay style. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on, because obviously men and women back there were in the raiding parties and that, so it'll be cool to have that sort of feel. But I definitely want Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons to be in there, and even to interact with them or fight alongside them, or come up with strategies with them, to attack certain settlements or whatnot. I think that's pretty cool, and that would definitely kind of get me going. But yeah, look, I think I do want the gods to play a huge role in it as well, especially going to the Seer and like really feeling that story vibe, and being able to dictate what your character does, and forming I guess their future, and being able to have that feeling of wanting them to go to Valhalla sort of thing, because that's a huge thing for the Vikings. So yeah, I mean, I guess if there's a couple things I want to see is solid gameplay. I want to be immersed with the story. I want it to absolutely overwhelm me, and just blow me away. That's sort of what I want. I want them to come up with a cinematic trailer, hopefully relatively soon, which will kind of steer me towards really wanting the game and the hype of it, because the franchise has been going for so long, and I guess some people might feel that they're just feeling like they're bringing out games every year and then changing up to every second year and that sort of jazz. But I really want them to capture me on this one here, to kind of keep me on the bandwagon of Assassin's Creed franchise. So I'm keen for the next one. But I think they can do it, and they have the ability to do it, but it's going to be very based on what they can bring to the table. If they can really change it up and not have, I guess, similar stuff than what Assassin's Creed Odyssey had, even though it was a good game, and I want them to take elements of that game, but I just want them to keep evolving with the game, trying new stuff out to kind of keep it fresh and interesting, and kind of that's what I want from the game. So should be pretty cool. I think regardless, I'm going to get the game, even though I haven't seen the trailer yet. I know that it's going to be good, but how good is the question. So yeah, hopefully you've gotten a little bit of more insight out of some of the rumor mill stuff that we heard, and then some of my thoughts and feelings towards what I want the game to be. Hopefully you're feeling the same as what I am, and just wanting it to hit the ball out of the park sort of feeling, and have a good trailer to kind of build that hype. And we know that information is going to be coming hopefully relatively soon, so yeah, I'm all for it. So bring it on, Assassin's Creed, no matter what the name is, if it's Kingdom, if it's Ragnarok, or if it's Valhalla, bring it on. I'm keen. I was definitely hyped after I finished the game and I heard the next sort of setting would be Vikings, so bring it on. Want to see what it's got, and yeah, that's us. Thank you for listening, thank you for sticking around. We're going to hopefully bring more content out when the trailer pops out, so stick around. Definitely hit that like button. Let's try and get this video trending. 50 likes, let's go. I know we can do it. All we need to do is hit that thumbs up button. You know, it doesn't hurt you, and definitely it doesn't hurt you to hit that subscribe button either. Join the Knightsman family, and yeah, hit that bell notification, because that's going to let you know when we hit out some of these trailers or some more info for you. So yeah, comment down below if you think you're going to get it, or what your thoughts or reactions are about these rumors. And yeah, have a good day or night where you're from in this big wide world that is Knightsman out. Cha-ching.